Hi guys, welcome back to Tech Samadan. So we would be starting a new video series from today video onwards, and this would be machine learning. And it's very interesting topic to learn to understand as this is era of artificial intelligence. So moving forward with machine learning. So machine learning is often abbreviated as ML. So in the course video, I would use ML rather than machine learning, and it is a branch of artificial intelligence that work on algorithms and statistical model, which allows our computer to learn from data and make prediction or decision without being explicitly programmed. So this is some overview of machine learning. So in simpler terms, we can understand machine learning allows computers to learn from data and make decision or prediction without being explicitly programmed to do so. So whenever we uh, start machine learning, one thing to keep in notice that machine learning allows our computer to learn from data. So this will allows our computer to learn from data. So wherever there is machine learning, we would know that data is provided, works on this data, that data. So yes, data is basis for any machine learning to work with. So there are some steps about how machine learning works in any algorithm. So you can have a look on it, which is data collection, with where we will collect the data. Pre-process means there are some methods to clean it because our data is not a well organized data. It definitely would have some missing values as you can see here and duplicates. So that is pre-processing. Then choosing the right model. So there are many numerous models in machine learning to train an algorithm. Then we need to test it, like if it's working fine. Then the evaluation metrics are also there. And then final is prediction, that is it working fine or not. So data are in any different format, which can be a music data, which can be a text file, picture, sound. We can web scrap it. So there is a Kaggle site I would show you in the next video. So we can collect data from there as well. So this process is to organize data in an appropriate format such as CSV or database. Pre-processing involves like managing that data to eliminate or fill it and adjust and format the data. So due to pre-processing, our quality of data, which is nothing but data cleaning, improves. Then choosing right model in the sense is that once data is prepared, we apply some machine learning models. So there are linear regression, there are various types of model. From now onwards, we apply it. We need to understand it. How we can apply in next video, I will show you. Then we will train the model and then finally evaluate. So there are different types of machine learning algorithm categories. So first is supervised learning, next unsupervised. So I will tell you what is supervised learning. So whenever there is an supervised learning, we will use label data to train algorithms to classify data or predict outcome. So we will use the label data. As input data is inputted into the model, it will modify until it fits into model. So this is cross validation. It's a bit difficult to understand what I'm speaking. So, we can never wonder like we all watch OTT platforms, web series. So Netflix recommends some movie or how self-driving cars learn to navigate. So this is all due to machine learning and all these models they have been used. So we will cover four main types of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement. And you'll have a clear understanding about this technique, how they work. So moving forward, that you understood what machine learning is. Now we will go towards supervised learning. Whenever supervised learning is there, understand there is some labeled data we are working with. As you know, machine learning, we will work with data. For supervised, there is some labeled data. So the model is trained on labeled data set where both input and correct output are provided. So this is how there is some model and we only provided the input as well as output. So that's mean labeled data. So output is also beforehand provided. And in supervised learning, it will learn the relationship between input and output. And after understanding the relationship, it will try and make accurate prediction. So we will see here some one example predicting the house price. So here input is also provided and output is also provided. So here input is size of house, number of room, and location. So it's the metadata of house. So size of house, location, and number of rooms is the input. And output is also provided beforehand in supervised learning. So our output is the price of house, which we provided. So that's why it's with label data. That's why we so supervised learning we will find patterns with label data. Okay. So this is the example of linear regression. We were speaking about the different types of models are present in the machine learning. This step, training the model. So there are different types of models present. For now, understand this is some linear regression model we are using. Now I will provide you how this came into play because I have covered this in Python series, the modules concept. So you can watch it. This is our input, which is the size of house as we have noted here, and the outcome is price of house, which is also provided. Now we will create and train the model. So this is how we create the model and train it. It will understand the relationship between input and output and make some prediction. So what it will do here, now predict for 1800. Now what it will see, we haven't given 1800 as an input here. But by understanding the relationship, it will predict and we will see if it's accurate, it's nearby or not. That's the play in machine learning. So you can see the output here. So it will predict price for 1800 square foot house. So it predicted it as this 3,60,000 through the data we provided by understanding the relationship and doing some mathematical calculations. So that's are the prerequisites required to understand mathematically how the algorithm would work. So we can use machine learning, supervised learning when we have clearly labeled data and we want to predict outcome based on some patterns. Now moving forward to unsupervised learning. Now definitely unsupervised means what? We will find the patterns without labels. So here you can see no output is provided. It's we will predict it. So in unsupervised learning, the model is given only input data. No labels means what? No output. So here we can write only input is provided and no output is there in unsupervised learning. Unsupervised, supervised itself has many algorithms in that. So this is the basic definition for any unsupervised and supervised to distinguish between them is that no data provided and data provided, which means input and output is provided in supervised and that is itself not provided in unsupervised learning. So, in unsupervised learning, the model is given only the input data and no output data, and the model tries to find hidden patterns or clusters in the data. So, this is a main point we must notice that how that model would then predict. So, it was has its own feature to predict it. So, in unsupervised, the model will try to find pattern in unlabeled data. So, it will try to find a pattern. And in supervised, we train the model on label data. So beforehand, we will provide the output to predict or classify new unseen data. So here it will identify the pattern now in unsupervised learning. So moving forward, what it will do? No output is provided here, right? So like clustering, k-means. So these are some algorithms. I will provide the link as I said. Without it, it won't run. The program won't run. So you can see here the input is customer shopping behavior. Now here I will write input is customer shopping behavior. We have just created one example. Behavior data. Output group customer into cluster. Like we will group the customer having same spending habit into one cluster means in a one group. But how? Because we haven't provided how it will understand. So we will find the pattern in unlabeled data. So like clustering. Now here is that example data. We created and trained the model using one of its algorithm which is k-means and we provided a cluster before and as 2. Keep in mind we have provided here. In some example it's not 3, we take it by default as 3, the machine learning model. And then Output is, we can see the output now for unsupervised learning. Cool. So this is the output. Some warnings have been provided. This is how it grouped it into a cluster. Now you won't understand what type of output is this. But basic for this video was to understand what is supervised, unsupervised, and basic difference between them. Moving forward, there is one which is semi-supervised. So semi-supervised, and basically to use unsupervised, we when we have unlabeled data and when we want to find a hidden pattern in that data, we will definitely use unsupervised. Labeled data supervised. Now semi-supervised we will see. So in semi-supervised learning, basically the model is trained on small amount of labeled data. So here is a catch. Definitely it is trained on seen data, but the amount is small, not the perfect amount we provide in supervised learning. So we can make here is like that, trained on small amount of labeled data and large amount of unlabeled data. So here is a catch. Now it is trained with seen data also, but the amount is small. And large amount is for unlabeled. So it's in between unsupervised and supervised learning. So the model tries to generalize patterns from labeled data. So it will understand the patterns from the small amount of labeled data, and definitely it will apply them on that unlabeled data. So there is one example we can understand is like some medical diagnosis. So we have labeled data X-ray with diagnosis, unlabeled data X-rays without diagnosis. So this is one example. Real world example, Google Photos. So face grouping. There are some, it will ask us for the name the person and then it is a label, so small amount, and from big unlabeled data it will try to find out. So it will try to generalize it from the small amount of labeled data. So we are using the semi-supervised when data is expensive or time consuming when labeling that data, and when you have small set of labeled data, large of unlabeled. The last is reinforcement learning. So basically in reinforcement learning, we learn through rewards. We provide rewards to that model. It receives rewards or penalties based on its action. So gamification is one of a part of reinforcement learning where the model works with rewards or penalties. Goal is to maximize reward over time. So training some self-driving cars so that when the reinforcement is used. So for when we the model needs to adapt to changing environment or there is a continuous learning involved, then reinforcement is coming into play. So this is from this video. In the next video, we'll definitely understand more about supervised learning and the type of algorithm supervised learning has, how the supervised learning is further classified. So hope if you like video, do like, share and subscribe it. Thank you.